Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how are you today? If you haven't signed up for our newsletter yet, please do so. All the information is in the description box below to get a hold of me and Trish, okay? If you have any information that you would like for us to include in the newsletter, like recipes, a veteran that you want highlighted, a pet that you want highlighted, prepping tips and tricks that you want highlighted, please email me and Trish, okay, so we can get them in the December newsletter, okay, because November's newsletter is going to be rolling out any day now. So, get your coffee, maybe a snack to get us through, and let's get started, all right? So, there's quite a few things that we want to talk about today, all right? Sometimes I don't know how I get through this myself. I really don't. So, the U.S. FDA, right, today announced that California, Florida, Utah, and Wisconsin have added into domestic mutual reliance agreements with the agency. And these mutual reliance agreements facilitate a coordinated effort between the FDA and individual states with goals to reduce the human foodborne illness outbreaks, reduce duplication of regulatory oversight, and increase public health protection by focusing on areas of higher risk. Now, foodborne illness outbreaks are largely preventable, but can have devastating consequences for consumers. And that's why we always talk about, you know, like with the recalls and stuff like that. Okay, sometimes, you know, we see red flags with them, but sometimes they could be credible. So, you know, it's like when I talk about some recalls, you know, it's like, you want to take them with a grain of salt, but sometimes it's like, you know, why are they recalling that? But then sometimes it's like, you know, when they're recalling spices for, you know, salmonella, you're like, but it's dried in salmonella. You know, it's like one of those, you know, and why are they recalling bread for salmonella? Wait a minute, you know, is it a red flag or is it real? So, you know, you got to take things with a grain of salt when it comes to a recall because you just don't know what the real reasoning is behind it. Right on? So, the FDA, this is what they're saying, is committed to keeping Americans safe. You would hope. As part of our commitment, we are using these partnerships to strengthen our relationship with our state regulatory partners and improve industry compliance with applicable food safety requirements to reduce foodborne illnesses outbreaks. So, these new mutual reliance agreements help the FDA to work in cooperation with the states of California, Florida, Utah, and Wisconsin to rely on, coordinate with, and leverage one another's work, data, and actions to achieve a safer national food supply. As envisioned in the FDA Food Safety Modernization Act, or FSMA, the Partnership for Food Protection, and the New Era of Smarter Food Safety Blueprint, the mutual reliance agreements will enhance the existing relationships with states and government counterparts, moving the nation toward an integrated food system, like safety system, okay? A strong integrated system is essential to a safety food supply. Mutual reliance between the FDA and individual states is one example of the many actions this agency is taking to address our nation's increasingly complex food production and distribution systems. Yeah, because why? There is a food shortage. We're seeing it. How? Because you guys take pictures, but not just pictures, videos, okay? And you send it to me, and I put it in videos. And because I want people to see it's not just in your area. It is all over the country, but not just that. We're seeing it in other countries as well, okay? So we now they're saying we expect that as more states sign up for this, it will help reduce redundancy and duplication of effort, optimize the impact of our collective oversight, and allow us to build on the long-standing relationship that we have with our state regulatory partners. This is a truly step forward towards achieving a seamless integrated food safety system between the federal and state regulators. So the food safety system, okay, but what is really the agenda here? That's what's not being said. Because when they're talking about food safety, I feel like there's something else. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's something else. FSMA was signed into law in 2011 and enables the FDA to focus on the prevention of foodborne illnesses rather than relying on primarily on reacting to problems after they occur. The Act provides the FDA with authority to achieve higher rates of compliance with prevention and risk-based foods safety standards. Okay, but if all of this was true, we wouldn't have recalls in the first place. If they were actually getting in there, boots on the ground, noses, where they belong, instead of just being pencil pushers, and they actually saw that there was rat shit everywhere. Do you understand what I mean? We wouldn't have salmonella and recalls and this and that and this and that in bread and spices, for crying out loud. There are so many, if you actually go to the websites that I go to, like the FDA, okay, and stuff like that, and you see how many recalls there actually are, you would literally just, your head would explode. I'm not kidding. You would never eat again. You would throw everything in your house out. And, it's like, it's kind of, they don't want people to go on that website and see what is actually on there. They're just hoping and praying that people don't go on there, so they'll just eat what they have. And they pray that nobody gets sick. I'm reading between the lines here. So the FDA, an agency within the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, protects the public's health with assuring the safety, effectiveness, and security of human veterinary drugs, vaccines, and other biological products for human use and medical devices. The agency also is responsible for the human and security of our nation's food supply, cosmetics, dietary supplements, products that give off electronic radiation, and for regulating tobacco products. Well, good for friggin' you. So, but you know me, I read between the lines, and I do so much damn research that you would get a brain freeze. But I mean, it's like this. So they're trying to get every state on board with this, which, okay, fine, but there's more. There's more. You know it and I know it. There's more. So, anywho, it's okay. So on to this now. Oh Lord, kids, I know that, I'm going to zip it, and I'm just going to move on, because my mouth gets me into trouble, and you know it. So that's why I have so many strikes. So in his latest act of total warfare against the American people, there's not enough coffee to get me through the day, let alone my lifetime, let alone to get through a video. Holy shit. So Potato, all right, God help me, is pushing to shut down the Line 5 pipeline in Michigan because Colonial wasn't enough. The one in Pensy wasn't enough. It's like, what the hell is he doing? He wants us to be totally dependent on other countries for our oil. So so we're paying $10 a gallon for gas Is that what his agenda is? You know, this is bull. I don't like it. Get the hell out of my country. But I'll shut up. So, in Michigan, that transports over 500,000 barrels of crude oil per day from Canada to Michigan, where it gets processed and distributed throughout the Midwest. Without this pipeline, Midwestern states are going to face critical shortages of fuel this winter. And we've talked about this. That's why I said to stock up where you can stock up, prepare how you can prepare. And it's almost like we have to just put our hands on our asses and wait to see what the hell's going to be coming down the pipe. Because we just don't know. Because you never know. And I'm not going to sit here and say, this is what's going to happen. This is the timeline, because I hate putting timelines on things. Anyway, at the same time, potatoes handlers are engineering a supply chain collapse, food shortages, and unrelenting inflation. Yeah, because this is a topic of discussion that we have every single day. So, the deliberate shutdown of this pipeline is an act of war against we the people as the potato regime transforms America's heartland. I'm being funny. Into an active theater of war, which will soon face widespread food scarcity, energy scarcity, and an inevitable civil unrest. But this is what they want. It's what they want. People are being robbed right outside of the food stores in broad daylight while holding their infant child for steaks. This is sickening. But this is what they want. It's almost like it's laughable to them. Oh, and for what? Huh? I think that's a rational question to ask. I'm getting pissy, so I'll move on. So the Potato Administration is considering shutting down the Michigan oil pipeline, despite warnings from Republican lawmakers who believe the move would result in fuel price shocks throughout the Midwest. But it's not just going to be the Midwest, it's going to be everywhere. The administration is exploring the possibility of terminating the Line 5 pipeline, which links Superior, Wisconsin, with Sarnia, Ontario, and gathering data to determine if shutting down the line will cause a surge in fuel pricing according to published reports. Of course it will. Of course it will. But it's not just going to be at the gas pumps. For anybody who has propane that runs the hot water heater or your stove or your dryer or your this or your that in your house, good luck keeping warm this winter, or drying your clothes, or cooking, or anything else that your propane fuels in your house. But I'll go on. So in a letter dated Thursday, the 13 Congress members, led by Ohio Representative Bob Latta, L-A-T-T-A, urged the president to keep the oil line in operation, saying Line 5 is essential to the lifeblood of the Midwest. You think he's going to listen? Probably not. He's probably falling asleep or looking at his watch to see when nap time and snack time is. So, with alarm bells going off over Biden's deliberate destruction of America's economy, Ted Cruz is now voicing what millions of Americans are already thinking. He's like the voice of reason. He says what we all want to say, but we get shut down and shot down if we say what he wants to. If we say what we want to say, but he says it for us. Have you ever watched him? I have. And he literally, I don't know, it's like he takes the thoughts right in my head and he blasts them. Anyways, so at some point the remaining free states, and it's literally like this, free states in the article that I'm reading, have to cut ties with Washington, D.C. and form their own new nation. And literally, people have said that's what's happening here in Florida. We're like our own like little like country over here. So just to survive the planned civilization suicide by being pursued by the demon-possessed Democrats. And it's true. It's dead on balls accurate. I'm getting pissy. But in a recent speech at Texas A&M University, Ted Cruz, this is what he said. If the Democrats end the filibuster, if they fundamentally destroy the country, if they pack the Supreme Court, if they make D.C. a state, if they federalize elections, if they massively expand voter fraud, there may come a point where it's hopeless. We're not there yet, and if it comes to a point where it's hopeless, then I think we take NASA, we take the military, we take the oil. Importantly, Ted Cruz isn't calling for secession at this point, all right? But he's clarifying that it may be the last remaining option if Democrats continue to wage actual warfare against America in their quest to destroy this nation. So, the fate of the American Republic has been sealed. And to survive, you know, it's like... I don't even have to put it in words. To survive this, and I've said this before, and people have actually said to me, why do you say stack it to the rafters and then you don't give an explanation on why we should stack it to the rafters? If you have not been paying attention over the last 2 years, and you're not seeing what I'm seeing and what everyone else is seeing, and you haven't started stacking it to the rafters, shame on you. Okay? And I'm not trying to be harsh here. I'm just being blunt. I'm being to the point. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. But seriously, our fate has been sealed here, man. You guys that have been watching me for a while, you know what's coming. I've been saying it. Trish has been saying it every Friday night. Wake the hell up. Wake up. If I have to start speaking through a megaphone for you to hear my voice, I will. But I shouldn't have to. Because obviously, you clicked on this video for a damn reason. Alright. I'm done. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And yeah, stack it to the damn rafters. Stack it. And stop asking so many questions. Just open your friggin' eyes and know that's the reason why you should be stacking it to the rafters. End of story. All right. I love you. Fear less. Ciao.